We are homegrown, born in Calgary and raised on curiosity. We're storytellers, media makers, and we believe that creativity thrives in collaboration and community. We mix mentorships with hands-on learning and support artists for positive mental health in the media art space. This series follows the pursuit of our vision, a van that's part camper, part studio, part classroom, a workshop on wheels we call the Creative Caravan. You'll see our wins and our wipeouts, every episode bringing us that much closer to our dream. This is the story of our journey to help you share yours. This is the road to Creative Caravan.
You do it.
Okay. That was sorry. All right.
Okay, so next question. What is homegrown?
Take it away.
What is homegrown? Homegrown is a way for me to kind of continue building that community around me that I kind of like to work with. You know, I started off with community and I started off with kind of like, honestly, and I'm going to go like full candid here. I started with a lot of people because I was hiding behind them. I kind of like, I didn't think I was good enough at what I was doing. So I'm like, I'm going to bring people on who know what they're doing and then they can kind of take it and I'll just learn and I'll kind of stick in the background. And I realized that was a problem and I kept doing it. And then it wasn't until I kind of started like to lead the conversation instead of just behind that I realized, hey, I'm like pretty good at bringing people together and like collaborating. So Homegrown began honestly with a joke. It was a friend had opened a brewery. They had a big white wall. And I said, that'd be cool to show movies there. And they're like, yeah, we want to get into the arts community. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll show one of my films. And then I literally sat there and I just looked at the white wall for the entire time I was there. And I was like, I'm going to do a film festival. And I went home and I hyperfixated until 3 a.m. doing like a business plan, how I would support it, how I would do this. And like a year later, I was rolling out the first edition of Homegrown, the short film festival. And then I had kind of anticipated doing the nonprofit part of it, but it was like my 4-year plan. And the more I talked to people around me, the more they were like, no, you should probably start because like, you know, it takes a while to get funding. It takes a while to apply for a lot of the grants that you can qualify for. So get going. And it went from a 4-year plan to like October was our festival. We incorporated in December. And we just blew through the application process. We hired a lawyer. We got everything done. Boom, it was done by December. By January, we were applying for grants. By May, we have over $150,000 worth of grants, and we're working towards our first like edition of our mentorship programs and a second edition of the festival, which happens next week, or next week, tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It happens tomorrow. And yeah, it just kind of snowballed. And I think the more I led the conversation with a lot of different people, the more people just kind of like they got attracted to what I was doing and the unique stuff that we're kind of like rolling out. So yeah.
Yeah, holy crap, man. How like seeing how fast and explosive this ended up turning into, right? Like the turnout from this one compared to the last one. How many more people have been like wanting to jump onto this? What does that bring you emotionally? Like, what does that make you think? Like, clearly there's like a need for it, right? Like,
yeah, people. I mean, I'm gonna preface it with like Calgary is a very unique artistic community. We're very hesitant, and so when something new comes around, it's like, what are these people about? And you know, it's nice that with like our first year, we had quite a bit of turnout, and we had quite a bit of one of our films like brought in a lot of people that came and watched that one film, but people were still kind of like hesitant and they're like, I don't know what this is about. I don't know who this person is. I spent time in Winnipeg. I spent like 4 years in Winnipeg before moving back, and like everybody who I had worked with all had moved on. And so I was coming into a community with different people and they were like, who's this guy? I don't know who this person is. And that was kind of hard. This year, there's a lot of momentum. I'm getting to know more people. I'm getting to kind of like, people are seeing that I'm not out for their money. I'm out for like to build something around what we're trying to do. And that's been really good for that internal voice that says like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Don't waste your time. Just go back to doing whatever. Has been good for me because, you know, seeing that the energy and the people following and people like, you know, paying attention it's been incredible. It's been awesome to see.
That's amazing.
What is Homegrown to you? I mean, you just learned about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like first and foremost, like I keep staring at your sweater. The logo and your merchandising is amazing. I want that sweater. I want everything that has that logo on top of it. So you guys nailed that one.
Shout out Anja Pearson. She's the
Okay.
one who designed it. She's out of Winnipeg. Friggin' incredible human being.
Okay, well, I need to, I need to make my own sweater, so I'm going to be reaching out to her because, absolutely. But yeah, Homegrown. When you first reached out to me about this, I was already like I told you, like this was like perfect timing for everything that was kind of manifesting in my own life too, and for years, I have been looking for a community that didn't feel transactional, first and foremost, but also allowed for a huge amounts of creation and something that was going down a different sort of route than everything else was going, right? And I was struggling on trying to create that community on my own. With the podcast, everything that I'm doing with Nomadic Wildling, with Voices of Resilience, with the film program that I was a part of previously, it all kind of connected to each other, but I was struggling on figuring out just how it could connect. And then you reached out to me about this exact same sort of thing, and it made so much more sense. This feels more of a round table than anything else that I've been a part of. It feels good. It feels wholesome. It feels like it could be a part of an evolution of where we are as creatives right now. I think a lot of people are struggling with the monetization of everything. A lot of people are struggling with finding their own way being a creative, to the point where there's a lot of like mirroring. There's a lot of there's a huge oversaturation in these industries, right? And people are like climbing over top of everyone else to try to just make themselves different, and it doesn't help anything in the long run. I feel like with Homegrown, we can allow this to grow as big as it can get without people falling flat off of it, and allowing other people to grow and be a part of the community. And hell, if they think that they can do it better, then they can surely try on their own, right? But I don't think we can individually just succeed on our own. That's been a lie that we've been told our whole lives.
Yeah.
The only way that success really comes in handy is when we start incorporating other people, right? So how are you incorporating people in your projects? Are you doing it in a transactional way, or are you doing it in a way that allows them to grow alongside you? And that's why I chose to keep going with Homegrown. I felt that from you, and I feel that from everyone I connect with you too. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it stands to reason that like film or any type of storytelling, it takes more than just the one person to do it. How can you continue to tell your own story? You're just gonna keep telling and retreading territory that you know and other people know. So what better way to kind of diversify than to kind of bring other people in and let them tell their stories, so that it's not just that one siloed conversation that we're having as Homegrown, and the inner circle of like our collective, and having that conversation and making decisions for people instead of including people's voices to make decisions that will help people. It's silly to me to like not include more voices in it, right? And I mean, there gets to the point where there's too many cooks in the kitchen, but we are listening, and we're rolling out what we know we can do good, and do well, with those voices included. Does that make sense? Like, yeah,
Oh
just
yeah,
trying
absolutely.
to bring
No.
people in, right?
Something that just pinged when you were explaining all of that too was something that I didn't include with the what we were talking about previously. Our last topic was that my own filmmaking career is very connected with my own reconnection back to my own culture, like specifically the indigenous side of my family. And now, like these days, I'm trying to hold myself a lot more accountable with our traditional teachings along those sides, specifically more along the lines with our 7 sacred teachings. If anyone out there is familiar with those, reach out and share your own perspective of it too. I'd love to hear your own perspective, and then the medicine wheel as well. But when I'm looking at those teachings, the biggest teaching of our medicine wheel is just to pay attention to what you can offer the community, and see where you can fill that wheel, right? It has nothing to do with your gender. It has nothing to do with anything biological, anything that you can't control. It's your strengths and your weaknesses. Where does that fit in with the grand scheme of everything? And then when you connect that with with our 7 teachings, specifically our humility teaching, being able to see people eye to eye and not putting yourself on a pedestal the entire time. That's what drew me to Homegrown in the first place. Again, was that round table mentality, is that we're all here with an expertise in some different avenue that can incorporate in the bigger picture of everything. No, there's no one head of it, right? Like, yes, there's people at the forefront that'll be in front of the cameras and stuff like that, but everyone has the opportunity to be that if you have that strength, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.